Welcome to another episode of Put Me On Game. I'm your host, Chesterr, with 2 R's. With me today, I have the beautiful Emiline, also known as SexySpiritualGangster.
Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
Good. Another day.
Another day, another dollar?
Another day, another dollar. I need it all. So, tell me about yourself.
Well, my name is Emiline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
2-6.
2-6. Yes, 2-6. I spent some time in Greensboro, went to UNC Greensboro, and I now live in Charlotte, doing a bunch of different entrepreneurial endeavors. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about what I got going on.
I'm glad you got out of here.
I'm back so much that it doesn't really feel like it sometimes. Yeah, I come home a lot.
I think that's true. Like, everybody that leave, they're like, oh, well, I know ain't nothing here, but I miss it, you know?
You got so many friends and family that don't leave here, so you have to come visit them.
That is true.
Regardless of where you go.
Right. So tell me, your current mental health dealing with all of this Rona and the presidency and people just acting crazy, not knowing how to wear a mask and wanting to be outside but then wanting to be inside.
It's a lot going on right now.
It is.
I feel like if you're surviving 2020, like if you survive 2020, you can survive anything. Like you've went through like a war, like on every level. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. As far as like not wearing masks and stuff, like that's ridiculous in itself. And everything that's coming out, it's like two sides to everything, and everyone's argument sounds pretty good. So like for someone like me who's like, I don't really like to get too committed or radical to one idea. I'm always like open to different things. It's like I went from not believing COVID was real to like catching COVID and then like living to tell the story. And it's just been like a lot of stuff going on all sides of everything. So
that's crazy. Well, as always, everybody, please make sure you are washing your hands and wearing your mask. That's coming from me. I don't like doing it, but it's a lot of stuff I don't like doing. So make sure you're doing it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just a respect thing. Like, so many people are putting out science about how it's not good to wear masks or whatever, but I'm like, if we can, like, prevent it, and if it just makes you not look like an asshole to society, like, just put it on, you know? Like, whatever your belief is, if you don't want to wear it, then just don't go out all the time, which we're not supposed to be doing anyway, so.
That is true.
Yeah.
Speaking about going out all the time, I want to say about a month back, rest in peace to George Floyd.
Yes,
all the rioting and everybody that was out and about in the streets and protesting. I saw you was a part of it, especially downtown here. How was that experience for you?
It was really interesting. I hadn't really been to a protest in Fayetteville before. It was something I did a lot in college. I graduated in 2016, so I was in college for Ferguson and everything else that was going on, the Baltimore riots, the Charlotte uprising. Like, I was a part of everything, but I kind of just, I don't know, not that the fight wasn't there, but so many other things that were taking over my life at the time that I hadn't been to a protest. Like when I went out for George Floyd, like it had been a long time, and I was like, it was beautiful. But it was also a little disheartening just because I saw how easily the movement can be infiltrated, especially when protesting is more important than like organizing. And so what I took from going to that protest here in Fayetteville was just like, we really need to community build a lot, like before we get in the streets again or like try to be on the front lines, you know, because it wasn't very organized. And I was like, damn.
It wasn't. It was a couple. A good friend of mine, shout out to Don. He's really been organizing a lot around here.
That's good.
Because the first one, I think it was on Skybo, everybody. It was like,
I heard that one was great. Yeah, I heard good things about that one. Like, I heard that everything was really organized and people were, like, safe, whatever. I know, like, the looting happened later that night or whatever. Yeah. But that was, like, the big first protest, I think. And my mom even went to it, and I was like, what? Like, that's not her at all, especially with this COVID stuff. She's so scared. But she even went. And, yeah, by the time I came to Fayetteville, it was, like, I don't know who organized this protest, but it was just so many different people that were speaking that I felt like were not really on our side. And I saw it getting taken over really easily. And I was like, oh, yeah, this ain't the one.
I think with everything, though, it's the beginning. Like, we've seen, like you said, Trayvon Martin and all the other police brutalities and killings. This is the first time I've seen, like, no, we're taking a stance. It's the first time, honestly, in my 23 years, I've seen hope. Like, I've never experienced hope from, okay, things are changing. Like, I'm thinking, okay, maybe my lifetime and other lifetimes coming, something to happen. But the fact that I'm seeing it now is just mind blowing, honestly.
I agree. I feel like even for someone that considers themselves an organizer and that's been a part of the movement, something about like this time, I don't know if it's because everyone is out of work right now and school right now or what it is, but it just seems like there's been way more allies like than I've ever seen. There's been way more people waking up and standing up to their families than I've ever seen. So like you said, it definitely like gives you hope. Gives you hope for sure.
All right, so we ain't gonna wait too long. Let's get straight into it because I've been waiting on this.
Okay.
Just in a minute. You have how many businesses that you run?
I guess technically just two. I have two that are registered. Yeah, I have two like official businesses. So
none under the
Not to mention all the side hustles and things that I find myself doing. But yeah, so I have Glam, which is an online boutique of handmade African accessories. So you can get waist beads, purses, fans, things like that. Yes, check it out. But yeah, you can get these and so many other things that are like handmade in Ghana. I've been doing that for about 2 years now, and I've rebuilt a school in Ghana off that money.
Wow.
Yeah. Every time I go there, I do like some sort of clothing drive or something like that and take a ton of stuff with me. So I really created that business just for like my love of Ghana and like wanting to give back. But then it became like, obviously I'm reselling things, and that's when I realized like I don't really like retail. Like I don't want to be selling stuff anymore. I don't really enjoy it, but I do keep it running just because like it gives me the opportunity to give back and take money to Ghana when I go.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's really dope. Always looking for ways to give back, but you went from just to donating to no, I'm gonna put this in order and just fully give back. That's really dope.
Yeah. Once I went for the first time, I just couldn't like not do it.
It's just stuck in the
yeah. I mean, I already had like been really connected, but just going there, I felt like a lot of the efforts that I was putting forth here in the U.S., like everything you do over there, I feel like is so much more impactful and they're so much more appreciative. I hate to say it, but that's how it feels, you know?
Wow. Like
you can take things to them that like even homeless people here would be like, I don't want that. And they're like so great. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know. I just felt like I could really make a difference doing something over there.
So you have that. And what's the other one?
HustlerEDU.
Ooh.
That's my latest venture, and I'm so excited about it. It's basically an online academy for strippers. So you're going to basically be learning like how to increase your sales. First of all, how to get hired at a club. Like if you've never danced before and you just wanted to, or you've been interested but don't know how, or maybe you've been dancing for a while but you still haven't found like a mentor. It's basically an academy for dancers to go to not only learn but enhance their skills, learn how to make more money, learn how to take better care of their finances, their health, everything. Like I have a few courses out now, but I'm going to be constantly creating more to go a part of the curriculum.
I got a personal question.
Okay.
And I always say this, but I really do have a personal question. Did you get tired of people asking you, oh my gosh, how do I do this? How do I become a stripper and get hired? I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to just break it down. Here it go. Did you was that how it came about, or do you want to tell me?
I would say yes and no. Like I definitely have had those moments where people are asking me questions, and it never really got on my nerves. I was always really happy to share. Yeah. So that's why I was really like, okay, I might as well put together a course because number one, there's lots of other stripper mentors out there. I followed some of them for years.
Oh, so this is like a regular.
Yeah, this is a thing. Like there's definitely a market for it.
Okay.
But I will say I stand out simply because not a lot of those women are Black. Not a lot of those women have worked in different types of clubs, and not a lot of them have traveled everywhere. So in my 3 years of dancing, I've traveled and danced in so many different cities, different states, as well as different types of clubs that like some people might not have the look or be as versatile to tell you what it's like to work at Onyx and what it's like to work at Pink Pony or something like that, you know? But I've had that opportunity. So I just felt like I brought something different and I just need to go ahead and do it.
Okay, that's dope. So we're going to start. Bring me back just a little bit to the beginning of how it started.
How HustlerEDU started, or how
did dancing? Well, we're gonna get into HustlerEDU just a little bit later. But how did you start dancing?
Okay, I was kind of like one of those slippery slope girls because I started off as a cocktail waitress, and then I was a bottle girl or whatever.
Oh, so you was already in the lifestyle of it.
Yeah, I was working in the club, but like I wasn't working at a strip club. I was working at nightclubs in Greensboro. But I just like, I constantly saw like what I wanted to do more of. I've always loved dancing. So I was a cocktail waitress at this club in Greensboro, and like I hated it. And one night we had go-go dancers, and like they were literally like go-go dancers, like they don't take anything off, they're just like entertainers for the club. And they were there and they were making so much money, like people were throwing money at them like strippers, even though like they weren't taking anything off. And at the end of the night, these girls were like bagging up all this money, and I'm like, I don't even like serving drinks. I don't even know alcohol. Like, I don't want to do this. I always like dancing. Like, that's honestly how I would make a lot of my money when I was a bottle waitress. I would like dance in the booth anyway. So I was like, what? Like, I need to do this. So I was go-go dancing for like 2 years, or no, not that long. I was go-go dancing for like 6 months, 6 or 8 months. And then my first time stripping was actually in New York City.
You went straight to the top.
Yeah, I went to New York City because I was like scared of, I was still kind of nervous about people knowing what I did. And especially when you're a go-go dancer, it's like there's like this respectability with it that the other girls, it's like being a Hooters girl, like they're criticizing the strippers, you know what I mean? Like, so a lot of girls that were go-go's, like we didn't want to be strippers at the time or whatever. So I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna just go be about it. And the reason I chose New York is because at the time, the club that I had visited, I went there as a customer first. They didn't get topless. So it was a strip club, and it was a big club. It was owned by 50 Cent. It was called Lust. It's closed down now.
I think I remember it.
Yeah, Lust, New York. It was really popular. Like Casanova got his start there. A lot of people would go there. But they didn't get topless at that club. And if they did get topless, they had to wear pasties. So I was like, this is go-go dancing. Like, this is the same thing I already do in Greensboro. Like, and I'm going to make way more money up here. Yeah. So I drove up there New Year's Eve of it was going into 2017. Okay. Yeah, that was my first time. I had graduated college December of 2016. And like 3 weeks later, New Year's Eve, I went to go strip.
That is a story.
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about it, but as far as people not knowing, you didn't want to let people know, and the criticism and everything, what do you feel could help cut the negativity out of it and promote more positive? Like, okay, like everybody loves strippers, everybody loves dancers and entertainment and loud music and drinks. Like, what do you feel like we can do as a society to help empower?
I feel like a lot of the shame that comes with different forms of sex work really come from just the shame of sex in general. I think like a lot of people didn't even have proper sex talks growing up, and then like we just always learn from our friends what's a hoe and what's this, and like I just think like it's deeper than even like stripping or prostitution or OnlyFans or whatever. It really just comes to like changing the conversations that we have about sex, period. I would say decriminalizing it is probably the most, even bigger than destigmatizing it right now. I feel like the fact that it's illegal to do a lot of things makes it harder for women that are in terrible situations. And like I feel like we can handle the stigma, we can handle people talking shit about us. Most of us don't care. Most of us, we know we're making more money than someone, we have a comeback, you know, like we're not really maybe in the beginning of your career you might be, but like I said, most people, if they stick it out, they get to the point where they don't care about that. They just want to be able to still get a job if they want to get a job later, you know. They want to be able to not worry about calling the police because they're in something going on because they were soliciting, or you know. I feel like decriminalization and like having better sex talks are two things that would really, really, really help get rid of some of that.
I think it was because we doing it with weed now. Everybody love to smoke weed. Everybody has their drug of choice. I'm not gonna say no other drugs, but everybody has their thing. So like a lot of people, sex is their thing. So I don't get why they, to the public, this is bad and this, that, and the third. I'm not paying for this and that, but on the low, you doing this. Yeah. So I think that really would help. And honestly, sex education is a big thing that I'm trying to, I know to my siblings, that's what I'm talking about, my younger ones. Like, I wasn't taught anything. My mom told me, hey,
Same.
you don't do this. Don't come home with no babies. My dad, granted, he's in my life, but he's in a different state. We never had that talk. So everything, I'm growing up just looking like, all right, well, this is that, that's this, like, so I think that really would help.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got to be informed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you don't make it a point to educate, then you just open it up to so much ignorance, and that's how we get like whorephobia, as they call it. I love that word.
Whorephobia?
I love saying it. Yeah.
That's a new word.
Have you heard that concept?
I've never heard of that word.
It's just like I guess homophobia, whorephobia. It's like the fear of being seen as a whore, the fear of marrying a whore, or just the fear of that having an issue with a woman that does everything that a man does.
More. 'Cause there's some nasty people out here. But I understand. So we talked a little bit about it before, as far as you said something about a mentor. I never knew people had mentors going into. Is it more so going into clubs? Is it just like an online thing, like community? Like, I got to get in a Reddit trade.
Yeah, they have this thing called Stripper Web, which is a forum similar to Reddit, but a lot of the tips on there is like very like generic, outdated. A lot of people don't go there for legit advice. It's definitely more of something that people have started to do, marketing themselves on social media, basically sharing their tips of how they make money in the club and strategies that they use. Some women break it down just to like strictly sales. Yeah. Like there's one girl I really like, her name is Rax to Riches, and she like sells courses, but she's like sales, like all she talks about is sales. And then like there's another person who like they make a lot of scripts, so like for rejections, because in the club you get rejected like 9 times out of 10. Like you're gonna get rejected. Yeah
Let's
put me on game.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, in the strip club, like that's a rejection based field. Like you're gonna deal with like you're not the only pretty girl at the club. Like most times you might get a lucky day where the bad bitches don't show up, but usually you're not the most beautiful girl in the club. You're definitely gonna sell them on your personality, sell them on the idea that they're gonna get a full experience by being with you. Because like I work at clubs where you pay for a private room and it's like $1,000 an hour, $600 for 30 minutes. To convince someone to spend that kind of money, like you're gonna get rejected a lot before somebody says yes to that. So it's definitely like you got to learn how to take it. So some people, they come up with scripts and like things to say back, but ideally when you start at a club, you would just pick out the moneymaker and kind of like look at what they do, watch them. If they seem friendly, start a relationship with them. But it's really hard to do in the clubs. Like, I won't say it's not a supportive environment, because it is, but it's hard to find a mentor in the club sometimes, depending on where you are and what kind of club it is.
That's what I was going to ask too. Is it more like, I think everybody done seen How to Be a Player, and if you haven't, go watch. But is it more so like, because I'm pretty sure, people are in and out. Some people have been there for years. But is it more so that you experienced, like, okay, like, I'm going to take you under my wing. I'm going to teach you. He's a regular. Don't mess up my money. But is it that type of thing? Or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I have not had a lot of those experiences. I think that's another reason why I wanted to start HustlerEDU, is because I haven't had, like, anyone in the club ever really do that for me. Like, when I first started dancing, I did have a dance partner, and she had been in the game longer than me, so I was fortunate to have her. But once I started working in more like gentlemen's clubs, where like it's really about selling a room and selling like dances instead of just like twerking on the stage and they throw money, that's when I really had to start learning like the psychology of it a bit. And at those kind of clubs, the girls are not about to tell you like, yeah, this is this guy. Like, no, it's not about to happen like that. Because you're going to mess up their money.
And nobody want their money. Sadly, nobody want their money messed up. But at the same time, if you could go get a bag, go get a bag. Yeah,
and honestly, helping out another dancer doesn't mess up your money, because what I feel like and what I want to do with HustlerEDU is basically kind of create a standard where like every girl kind of knows like these are the things you should and shouldn't do. Because I've worked in so many clubs, and like I see why some guys come in and they don't want to spend money on a room because they've got a room from a girl who did X, Y, and Z and was like completely, you know what I'm saying, terrible.
Dirty feet.
Yeah, like they're like, dirty feet.
I haven't seen some stuff that I shouldn't have seen, but
yeah, I just feel like, you know, if we could like make it so that even the guys that hate going to the strip clubs want to at least go try it, you know, or go, then it's better than like working at a club and you're the girl making all the money, but then there's no customers coming in because you're the only good dancer. And when they go, other girls are trying to hustle them or stealing from them or don't have their appearance or whatever together. So yeah, I feel like by helping other girls, especially girls at your club, like it's going to be a trickle down effect. You know, you should get some more money out of that because they're going to be bringing people to the club.
Wow. Yeah. Listen, if I had my body together.
Yo, I follow some male strippers that be on it too. For
real?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's too late for me. I might could at least get slipped back down, but this thing, man, it's especially since I can't go to the gym, it's hard.
Yeah, a lot of gyms are closed right now.
It is hard. So juggling the nightlife, because you wasn't dancing while you was in school, you said afterwards. So now, okay, you're up at till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. How did you manage that with waking up? You waking up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Is it every night that you was going? Like, what was kind of your routine that you found your niche with?
Well, my first couple, I would say honestly, like my first 2 years of dancing, I wasn't doing it consistently. I would do it like a couple weekends a month or something like that. Like I was never, or I would do it, go hard for a month and then like take a few months off. Like I always gave myself a break. I always kept another job because I just like, I never wanted to feel like I had to make money at the club. I feel like that's how girls get depressed. Like if you feel like you have to make money at the club all the time because you're going to have bad days, then it just starts to make you just go down a
kind of feel like you got stuck there. Like I got to just stay here and just, I need that $1,000 again that same night. Yeah, especially because like every night's not gonna be a good night. Like stripping can fuck with your head because you can make like $1,000 one night and then the next 2 days you go in and like you don't make shit, you know. And it's like at the end of the day we still make more than somebody else, but the inconsistency can fuck with you. So I would definitely say like I always took breaks and had another job. So even if I went in and I only made $100 that night, I would compare it to like my $12 an hour job and I'll still be grateful because I'm like, okay, I know what it's like to be out here and a regular person. That's dope.
Yeah. But I will say like last summer, I definitely started working like every single day just because I had like some financial goals that I wanted to meet. And boy, like, I won't say like
Did you meet them?
Huh?
Did you meet them?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did. Yes, I did. So yeah, it was good. I saved the money I needed to save. I lost a lot of other stuff along the way, which I think we're gonna get into relationships. But
that's coming soon. That's coming soon.
But yeah, I would say like definitely balancing. I've always been a night owl, so it wasn't ever hard for me. But anytime that I had another job and was dancing, I definitely had to learn how to like balance that. But when I was just going hard at the club, it don't matter. It's like working night shift, you know. You wake up at 3 in the afternoon, like you said, and I don't really wake up that late, but maybe like noon or 1, and you eat some food, you chill for a bit, and you start doing your makeup for work again. Like,
do you get into like you personally, did you get into like a character, like I'm this tonight, or like, all right, once I cross this line, like I'm this person, or you never was in that deep with it?
No, I would say I don't have a work persona. And I was thinking about that the other day because I know that's how a lot of people are really successful. Like no matter what they do, they kind of just put themselves in a different mindset and pretend to be someone else, and it helps them do different things. And so I've started to try and like think about developing my work like persona, but honestly being myself has always worked for me. Like there have been times where I felt like, dang, maybe I was too nice, or maybe I should have like lied real quick or said something different and made more money. But nah, I've never really had to do that. I changed my look, but my attitude is always like the same. I'm just like trying to be that chill, like I usually go for like the chill girl, but then like she'll pressure you if she has to.
Hey man, do what you gotta do. That's how I always see, because I look at you as an entrepreneur, a bag getter. Like I don't look at all the extra stuff. Like no, like you are you, and that's dope. So tell me, you said a little bit about it, relationships. How does that? Honestly, I think I could do it. I don't know, but I know you heard a lot of people.
You could date a stripper?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course. But some people may say that, and then they 2 weeks. Okay, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. She ain't home yet. What's she doing? Like, she's normally home at 3. Like, how did you? What was your experience with that? Do you think you can do it, or do you think once you finish or you get to a certain point?
Yeah, I always kind of had like this rules for myself that I wasn't gonna date as long as I was dancing, just because I feel like in the dressing room I always hear girls arguing with their boyfriends or like it's never good, and I had the preconceived notion that if a girl was stripping and dating a guy, then he was either a bum using all her money or a wannabe pimp. Like, how do you have a healthy relationship? Like, I just never even saw it as possible, you know?
Yeah.
And then I kind of like had to meet people that kind of changed my perspective on that. And I was like, okay, that was wrong of me to assume that. But for me personally, I still would not really like, if my man would have to be making a lot more money than me. And then if he is, why am I dancing? So like, I don't see me dating a man while I'm dancing, because he should either be trying to make me not have to dance or not want to dance, or he's probably going to be wanting my money, and that's not going to work either. It's not going to work.
Your own bag. Stop living off of people.
Yeah, stop living off your stripper girlfriends. Stop. It's happening. It's happening out here. Yeah, but I did have one relationship while I was dancing, and it was with a girl, and I thought that would be easier, but no, she was very jealous.
Really?
Yeah, she wasn't built for it.
Was it long?
It was on and off.
Oh yeah, I know
one
about
of those. Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah.
But it was on and off like for like a year. It still didn't drag out longer than a year.
That's not terrible. I think I got you beat by a couple years. So
yeah, no, that was actually my longest relationship too. But we're not gonna talk about my problems.
No, we ain't gonna talk about that. We not gonna talk about mine either. That's for another day.
For real.
All right, so tell me, HustlerEDU. It's 2 parts, right? We have Baby Stripper 101, and we have OnlyFans Academy,
and soon to be Footmodel Freshman. I got that coming out.
Exclusive to the Put Me On Game podcast. So, I think you saw. Did you tell me about Baby Stripper 101? You told me a little bit about it.
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah. So little like Baby Stripper 101 is like basically someone who has absolutely no knowledge of dancing, or has been maybe working at a club for a while but doesn't feel like they're making as much as they could be. It's like that. Like the basic
introduction
things,
into it.
You might have missed if you didn't have a mentor, basically.
Okay, now OnlyFans, everybody, shout out to OnlyFans. Shout out to OnlyFans. Tell me a little bit about that. Don't give away all your repertoire and everything you got in the bag, but just give a little sneak peek about it.
I would say my OnlyFans Academy is for someone who doesn't have a huge following. Now, if you already have a huge following, that's how girls are making, like, I know a lot of celebrities and like Insta models are like bragging that they made like $30,000 their first month and all this stuff. Well, on OnlyFans, it's very easy to make money your first month because everyone's curious about what you're posting. So once you start promoting it, you're going to get a ton of followers based off like a certain percentage of what you already have on Instagram or already have on Twitter are just going to automatically subscribe. But how do you actually retain subscribers? That's where I focus. I focus on, in my course, basically building relationships with your subscribers, how to engage them and keep them spending money, and like how to keep them subscribed. So if you're in it just to like get in and you already have like 100,000 followers or more, you're going to make money regardless. But it's for someone that like might not even have an Instagram or a Twitter yet and wants to get in OnlyFans. Yeah, I really teach like how to build up like your clientele and get like quality subscribers, not just people that want to see cheap porn, because that's not what my OnlyFans is.
It's enough out here for that.
Yeah.
You want to get an ad name out to people that, because I know y'all already sitting here looking and trying to find it. You can pause the video, but you want to get an ad name out to everybody real quick?
Yeah, my OnlyFans is TheACupQueen.
Probably right here. Hopefully Noah could put it right here. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I might.
The OnlyFans?
Listen, I might have to get. I might have to do my own. Like, listen, I could podcast. I could have a regular job and do OnlyFans.
That's sad money.
Safari
OnlyFans
doing
is
it.
Sad, yeah.
Safari. If Safari could do it, I could do it. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all imagine what y'all want to imagine.
He already gave out a preview though a while back, so
I ain't doing a preview though. You gotta pay for mine.
that's how I feel.
You gotta pay for mine.
That's how I feel.
This was wonderful. You want to give everybody your other at name, your Instagram, Twitter,
Yeah, follow
Facebook,
me on,
MySpace, Bebo.
girl. Like, I'm so sorry.
It's all love. It's all love.
I feel like I do that all the time to my male friends too. Like, that's not the first time that's happened.
Trust me, I'm used to as many.
That means I'm
friends
very
I got.
comfortable with you though. Like, I'm talking to you like my homie for real. But no,
That's love.
so my Twitter is TheACupQueen. My Twitter is TheACupQueen, just like my OnlyFans. My Twitter is basically just OnlyFans promotion. I don't have like any followers on there. So follow me. Follow my Twitter. And then my Instagram is SexySpiritualGangster, spelled straight out, no ads or underlines or anything crazy. That's really it. Definitely check out HustlerEDU.com if you're interested in getting those courses. Footmodel Freshman, I feel like so many people are about to. That's gonna be so great for the vanilla world. Like, anybody can sell foot pics and not feel bad about themselves.
Anybody.
No matter what. Like,
I'm buying too.
Yeah. Well,
listen, I'm gonna just put out. I love good nails and toes.
I feel like crazy right now.
So I'm not gonna look right now because we're on camera. But this is gonna wrap up another episode of Put Me On Game. I'm your host, Chesterr.